It is a world of darkness. The sin of Cain has spawned the cursed horror that stalks the night in search of living blood. The kindred have long been a secret influence through all ages of human history, plotting against each other in a never-ending jihad. Their immortal progeny are among us to this day, hidden from the eyes of humanity by an elaborate masquerade.
Burn it at both ends. I like the fire causing mayhem. I'm not tired, I've been waiting. I'm not forsaken. I'm my own and I'm jaded. Energy comes from my hatred. Call me the villain, cause I be killing. I got no feeling, I've been dealing with all my demons. I like to feed them, they be chilling. Yeah, they be screaming. I can hear them in my mind. They just wanna find any fight, any reason.
Dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light. I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst. I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
Have to be working to deserve it. Adrenaline is surging, ain't no serving. I'm the king, bring me everything that I've ever wanted, that I need. I believe I could be anything, watch me. Give me a second to blow, give me a second to grow. Be at the top of the show, be at the top like a pro. I flip the switch, different mode. No, they ain't laughing, no joke, cause I attack when they won't.
Welcome to the dark side, there ain't no place to hide. All your fears are electrified. Welcome to the hard side, where it's all do or die. We're the shadow to the light. I can feel it in my bones. I'm addicted to the thirst. I ain't never letting go, even when it hurts. This is my curse.
we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with a cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Pain for their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Yeah, I guess it's like when other games have like pickpocket and lockpick as entirely separate skills. They just lumped it all under larceny for anything like that, it seems.
Don't get me wrong, it makes it a little bit simpler, but I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And we are back. Yes, and apparently we're talking about skills. To that point, I remember when I first started playing V20 and they lumped dodge in with athletics. And I was like, oh, yes. Dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that one.
I mean, I'll go with it. It's fine. But I get the logic behind not making dodge its own skill because that's literally all you did it for.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with combat monkeys and you shortened their gap between being able to power game, that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden they are super athletic as well as being able to dodge like a mofo. And then on top of that, you gave them all the celerity dice to that dice pool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they can dodge and parkour at the same time.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, sometimes the combinations or the merges, you just kind of shake your head and go, Who thought this was a good idea? Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'll go with it. It's fine, but I remember when I ran into it. Thank you for the follow, Styles. So I remember when I ran into it, and I was just like, "Oh dear, this is going to be gross," because I immediately thought of Celerity already adding to that, and I'm like, "Oh man, Bruja are just going to be nasty. They're going to be pulling the anime, like, moving between the ticks as they advance up to stake somebody."
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so we are back. And after, a full month of not having blood ties because of scheduling conflicts, we are back. We obviously have a skeleton crew today. So unfortunately, scheduling still dealt us a little bit of a blow, but that's okay. There's still plenty going on in the world of Vampire the Masquerade for our peeps to deal with, and maybe this will work out to their advantage. Maybe it won't. We'll see. But would somebody like to give us a recap from the last time we played just Vampire in general? Because that's probably where you guys will be picking up from.
Wow.
Oh, let's see.
Which was last Friday.
Okay. Let's see here.
You
So,
want to? Okay, you go ahead and do it.
yeah, I think I can. So it was 3 days after the previous events in the game. Let's see here. So Isadora showed up outside Remus's secret
Oh, yes.
basement bolt hole because he finally got his new place with all of his ghouls and whatnot. But he was hearing a knocking. There was a whole kerfuffle about a ghost gun
Ghost
because that's the
gun.
first thing that Remus thought up of. So they ran with it, and then come to find out, no, yeah, it's a secret basement bolt hole passageway thing in this underground garage that he's got. And it turns out that was Isadora's previous place, which she fixed, put on the market. Remus didn't know that it was hers. There was that whole thing. So now Remus does not like Isadora because she just shows up unannounced. It's a whole thing. And at the same time, he's going to work on updating the contracts he has with his ghouls, because previously, when it was written up more by Benedict, clearly he was treating them like property. He doesn't want to do that. So that's what's going on with him.
But more importantly, they were trying to act the role. And they were trying to live up to the contract. And he was like, wait, no. So that was kind of a cute thing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Revis, unbeknownst to the rest of us, of course, Revis met with Dahan at the Callahans. Although he did get scared inadvertently by the fireplace, had a little bit of a rush wreck there, managed to come back. And then Dahan was asking him extra questions about Ashland and the anarchs within it. Oddly enough, as if he hadn't been given the scoop by any of the upper-ups in the Sedite hierarchy there, and talked about plans for a temple. Revis provided him with some info. There was a little bit of back and forth, and Dahan went off to do whatever he's planning on doing. Very mysterious. Let's see here. And then we got info from Jay at Pantheon about a case where there was a haunting at the Red Lion Hotel, an abandoned hotel. We all went there, and in room 202, there was definitely haunting because things were floating. Shannon came along with us because, of course, she can talk to spirits, so why not? So she managed to talk to the entity in the room, who was named Daniel. And before we realized what was going on, Daniel possessed Ben. That was fun.
Round two.
Yeah, exactly. Ben is the town bicycle. He gets ridden by everyone apparently.
We won't go there.
Happens.
I was going to say there might be advantages to there if you push it.
So ultimately, everyone was freaked, of course, by that. But apparently, the room itself, because there's a weakness in the shroud or the veil between worlds, gave him the power to do that in the room. And he wanted to do karaoke, so everyone went, okay, let's just go ahead and do karaoke. Went to a country karaoke bar. And using a little bit of Ben's powers, Daniel did the best possible rendition of Debbie Gibson's Out of the Blue possible, wowed the crowd in there, even the coterie. After that, he was psyched, and that's apparently what he needed to pass on. So he left Ben's body and poofed, apparently, to the afterlife. So we all went back to room 202 to see what was going on. Confirmed, yeah, it looks like he was gone. Remus found a Debbie Gibson Broadway show ticket in the nightstand, which seems like that was probably a fetter of his when he was still here, and this ticket just managed to make its way from somebody else in the past a few months ago into this room. We even had Ryan, the new La Sombra, look throughout the room to see what's going on, and yeah, he actually fell through into the other world and then popped back out in room 208. So it was definitely a weak shroud in that area. And Sophie called Quan to come out and check it because he's got some necromantic skill. Confirmed all that and said, yeah, Daniel doesn't seem to be here. Can't even call him back with this ticket. And he suggested, yeah, so nobody else go in this room. It's not haunted anymore. It's just weak as far as the veil goes. And that solved the case of room 202. And that was pretty much it.
There we go. So as of tonight, well, today, but tonight for the vampires, it is 2 days past from Ben's possession conundrum and everything that had taken place, which would give you guys some time to square away anything in the background or some of the side conversations that you might have had in our Discord chat or whatnot. So all that could have taken place without any sort of ruckus or kerfuffle with the timeline there for game. So we will start off at this point with Stephen. So Stephen, what are you doing as you're still not in a position where you have the haven that you want. You've still got all of that stuff kind of floating up in the air right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, the question, I'll flip one back to you, is the club opening is about a week away, correct?
Yes, next week.
Okay. Then I would be spending this time, after having a rather discordant conversation with my clanmate.
Okay.
First off, I would be making a phone call to one of my allies, and I'd be like, I have an inquiry for a business in Ashland, preferably a gym, mid-sized, that's in financial straits. Is that something we could look into?
Okay. And is this an ally you have defined, or is this one we need to define?
This would be one we need to find.
Okay.
We've defined the legal one and the financial one, but this one has not been defined.
And this one is someone you were hoping to do what with? Are they? I know you're giving them a task. What is it that you are seeing these individuals as?
These individuals, these are people that I reward. If they need something to be helped with, I respond back.
Okay.
These are allies, and I treat them that way.
Skill set.
Oh, skill set? I was thinking financial, basically.
Okay, so financier.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Realtor, financier sort of thing. Okay, so I will get to the rest of that. We will call this individual Claude. So you want to put that down on your character sheet.
Yep.
Claude the financier.
Okay.
He tells you that that's kind of a frequent occurrence with gyms. So it's probably going to be an issue of how much you just want to shake your stick to find one. So he will get back to you when he knows some more, but probably within the next couple of days.
That's fine. I was given a 2-week deadline, so a couple of days is more than adequate, and I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And from there, I was looking into realtors not associated with Kindred as a way to, because we're trying to do the whole spread out and not have everyone lumped in the same thing bandwagon
Right.
because of the casualty rate.
Mhm.
And so I was looking into finding a realtor who was familiar with the real estate along the rail line. And I was looking for property along the rail line that I could either rent or look into acquiring long term.
Let's see. I'm wondering. It's been a while since I've looked this up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Ashland has a rail line going through it anymore.
Oh, okay. Because I
It-
assumed the fact it was on the map that it was there. All righty. I'm sorry.
It may be.
Okay.
It did have. It did at one point in time, which is why you have the train museum. But I don't.
Ah.
I know they closed that part of that spur off. I just don't know.
If it's not there, then anywhere along the Siskiyou Boulevard would work as well, Jerome. Either one's fine.
Yeah, no problem. Let me take a quick glance at the map, and I am not seeing one.
Okay.
That would probably be why. Because if I recall, quick plug, because I've been working on the Old West three-parter. There is a military train rail that goes through this area, which may have been supplemented through commercial use for a bit, but that's probably the one that the spur got closed down and that's no longer in use.
No problem. Like I said, then pretty much I was looking at a 2-flat, but I'd settle for something that was a basement and 1 story. Anything along those lines.
Okay, so then anything. Well, I guess what type of neighborhood are you looking for? Because right along Siskiyou Boulevard, like you've been mentioning, sits Southern Oregon University. Remember, this is a big college town.
Yeah, it is. I would not want to be terribly close to the university people.
Okay,
I'd want to be a little bit away.
University is roughly in the middle, or I shouldn't say the middle of downtown, but it's almost smack dab in the middle of the city.
Yeah, I would, for reference purpose, I have the map called up here.
Mm-hmm.
Where the boulevard crosses Tomahawk Creek Road towards the bottom by the elementary school.
Oh, I think I just passed it up. No. Oh, Tallman Creek Road.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you're talking about. I had to scroll all the way in to see the...
Yeah, I had it on blown up too. Sorry, I should have said that.
No. Yeah, you're fine. So you're talking that neighborhood there then? Okay, that'll work.
Okay.
Obviously, based on everything that's there, you got the elementary school. You've got Ashland Hot Yoga in your vicinity. You also have glass and windshield, so it's kind of a. If I remember looking at this in satellite view, this particular section was a mix of small business, commercial, and homes.
Yep, that would suit me fine.
Okie doke. And based upon your location, for what you're looking to try and get at, that's not terribly far from the club.
Nope, it's about 1.5 miles.
Okay, so we can work with that. At least that's the neighborhood you're looking for. So I will obviously get back to you on that one to see if there's something available.
And other than that, it's
in your price range.
working along, getting all the little details for the club opening done and walking the streets and being neighborly with all of my neighbors.
Cool. Okay. All right. So then, Ben and Persephone.
Maybe I was thinking that it's time for Persephone to be seen again, and of course, with Ben's going to be the new boyfriend of the. Hold on.
Doggo.
Yeah, new boyfriend of the missing DJ.
Okay.
So I thought maybe we could grab our friendly snake and go hit the clubs.
Friendly snake.
Friendly neighborhood snake.
I love you, Stephen.
I think that's because I do all the things your character wants to do.
Yes, yes, I live through you.
It's okay. Give me a list, and I'll expand out a little bit.
Oh
You
gosh.
got it.
Oh no.
Yeah, Ben's going, oh, no, no.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So then Ben will go ahead and text Revis and say, "Hey, is the club up and running yet?"
Another week.
Okay. And so then he turns to Steph and is like, "So a week from now, Absinthe and Malice will be up. So wouldn't be that one. You looking for some other place, maybe?"
Well, since you have been so accommodating and putting up with my dark gothic stuff, and Persephone is not there yet, why don't we go with something that you like? You get to choose tonight.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm open. Not a big deal. We could swing by the web, see how our werewolf friends are doing. It's been a while since we've actually touched base with them. I don't know if anything's going on in their wheelhouse, and I mean, we're welcome to go there. What do you think?
I don't know.
Is there
What a
something
female response. I'm sorry.
wrong, or are you weird with the
They're-
werewolves, or what?
Well, they're werewolves, and they typically don't like us.
Well-
At least that's what I've heard.
Well, I mean, sure, but that's generally. I mean, there are plenty of vampires who don't like us. There's a whole sect who doesn't like us, but it seems like that's just how it goes with every single group of us. They're the good ones, and then they're the monsters.
They have bigger teeth than us.
Right, but they deal with the masquerade too, and they've been our friends. They own a club in town. Like, they've helped us out with like bad guy werewolves in the past. So I'm okay with them. If it messes with you, we don't have to do that. We can go somewhere.
No, I'm okay. It's time for us to be seen out, so let's do it.
Okay. All right. We're doing it then. Okay. And
We're
so he
doing
goes-
it.
He goes ahead and texts Revis, "Hey, want to meet Steph and I at the Web, a
Let's
club
go,
downtown?"
sure. Always up for a entertaining evening with companions.
He's like, "All right, we'll be there in about 15."
Okay.
Whew, I get to be escorted by two good-looking guys.
Wait a second.
I mean,
don't
at least
remember
one,
saying
but
that.
we'll see.
Don't remember saying that. Revis gets in the car, drives. Does he have a clue what the place actually is? I don't remember that this character does at all.
Probably not,
I
because
don't
you've
think he's been there.
definitely never been there. But finding it on Google Maps is not a problem. I mean, it's
Okay.
just a matter of putting it in your phone and letting the phone tell you where to go.
All right, this ought to be amusing.
Yeah, Steph and I get ready and we head to the Web.
Okay. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and repost this link here in the chat. If you go to that website, you will find visual aids specifically for the web on the inside.
Discord or Facebook, Jerome?
I dropped it in the Twitch chat,
Okay.
but I will.
That's okay. I can pull up
Yeah,
Twitch and
fine.
move it over to my other screen.
No, I've got it right here. There you go. Dropped in the Facebook chat.
Yeah, because I've never been to the web either.
So all you need to do is look at it's down towards the bottom of the page. I don't know if I put it off to the left. No, I didn't. So it's down at the bottom of the page where it's location information.
Yep.
And you'll find images for most of the individual places that are popularized in our game. If you see a little blood drop, as it says up to the top, then that means it's a place where vampires from Ashland can order from the allergen-free menu. which also stands for order blood to consume.
Okay.
Nice. Very much Ben's kind of atmosphere.
It obviously hasn't actually been updated just yet to include the change in the tomb and the remakes that are there, but everything else is accurate.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Get this pulled up. So the as you guys get to this office building, basically what the web is it sits in an office park, and it actually sits up higher. I want to say what the office building is, probably like 10 stories high, and the web takes up like the last two floors at the very top, and it has its own private elevator that goes up and down to allow people to come in, which of course allows them to control the flow of individuals coming in and out. And they've got two bouncers, that sit down to check IDs and so on and so forth. Getting through the security obviously is not going to be a problem unless for some reason you are attempting to bring in any sort of weapons. So now would be the time to declare that if you are.
No, I'll leave my
Revis
my
typically
size and my knives
doesn't-
at home.
Typically doesn't.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just leave them in our vehicle.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Ben,
Ben
did
will
you
leave
leave you left the Glocktopus in the car?
It's Glock-a-clock. Yeah, well, yeah, he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave. He'll have his weapons, like his shotgun, will be in his trunk, but everything else will just be in the car.
Yeah,
Okay.
her size and stuff will be in the trunk.
Sounds good. So, upon getting up into the elevator itself shares kind of the decor of the club. So the inside of the elevator is kind of dark. It's got kind of neon lights that run along the seams of the metal casing, and so, with a little bit of mirror reflectiveness, giving it kind of an 80s synth look a little bit. But when the elevator comes up to the actual floor, it's dimly lit on the inside. Lots of lights, like beamed lights, I should say, shooting down laser splitters. They've got several. They have several like columns or railing that can also contain similar lighting. So that's pretty much where the ambient light is coming from. It's not. There are no real. I mean, there's obviously house lights if they have to clean, but there are no house lights on. Everything else is secondary lighting that emanates a bit from the aesthetics around the floor. So it gives this electronic kind of Tron vibe on the inside, with a fully set up like bar, the casing, or I should say the bar itself behind where they pour the drinks, is kind of two-tiered, and they have lighting that comes up underneath it so it illuminates the glasses and bottles that are there. So it's a lot of money has obviously been put into making this place look very, very stylish. It is, playing EDM, industrial, electronica style music. It's packed. There are people on the floor. It's got people at the bar. I mean, and of course, none of you are really dressed for this. People who come here dress in what would probably be considered like a cyberpunk aesthetic. Like some of their outfits would glow a bit, or actually have electronics in it to make it glow. So especially with cyberpunk becoming popular in the mainstream again, thanks to movies like The Matrix and the anime, as well as the game of cyberpunk. So.
Yeah, and Steph has calmed down her makeup. She doesn't have the real dark eyes like she usually does. And she's trying to look more normal, as normal as she can get.
Sure.
And she'll even kind of dress normal.
You'll kind of dress normal. Define dressing normal.
She still wear black, but she's got like a kind of like a sports bra
Okay.
with a crop top like jacket over it, a black jacket,
Okay.
and she would be in um like tight leather pants with boots.
So, sexy's, or I should say, sexy action film lady villain.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, nice.
She's trying.
Okay.
Ben's helping, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Sweet. Great.
Okay. Well, that is the description of the layout. You know, there's a lot of oonts, there's a lot of bass emitting from the speakers at this point. It's up to you three.
I assume, are we all getting there at about like the same time
Yeah.
for convenience? Or,
Yeah.
And so he's, because it's probably a little bit loud, as we're going in, he's like, yeah, welcome to the web. It's pretty styling here, as you can see. Pretty nice. Yeah, the two owners are, others, and it's a good time. They let us hang out here. You two should meet. Yeah, you two haven't met them yet. The owners here, have you?
Revis puzzledly looks over at Ben and goes, "Others?"
Yeah. Can't, I know it's loud, but maybe be wary of that. Here, yeah, let me see if we can find them. And so Ben's making his way through whatever crowd there is, and he tries to get to like the bar nearby. Waves over the bartender. He's like, "Hey, wondering if the owners are in tonight. We're friends of them."
Okay. Why don't you give me a charisma and expression check?
Okay.
Difficulty 7 because of the noise.
Okay.
Yeah, Seth is really feeling out of her element. And she's got a death grip on Ben's hand.
All right. 2 successes.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you for a second, and he says, "Yeah, bub, wait right there."
Appreciate it.
Revis just looks around, examining the environment and the clientele, making notes.
So a couple minutes later, as he comes back eventually, but then a couple minutes after that, an individual starts making their way to the crowd towards the bar where you three are kind of standing and waiting. And a very sharp dressed individual, everything tailored. He looks like money. This is not the suit you buy off the rack. This is the suit that you buy at like more private retailers and have everything tailored to you, sort of thing. Like it, and you can just tell it's quality from top to bottom. And in fact, if Ben hadn't been going around saying others, you probably would have assumed, oh, hey, this is a Venture.
Yeah.
He has that style to him. It's like, oh, okay, that I get it now. His hair is immaculate, with care slicked back. For a good visual, he looks like Tom Ellis from Lucifer.
Oh, okay.
And he says, "Oh, well, Mr. Baxter, hello. I see you finally decided to grace us with your presence, but you've brought 2 new individuals that I am unaware. I don't believe I've had the opportunity to meet them."
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Figured we swing by. We've got a few new additions to the city. This is Seth, and this is Revis.
So he extends his hand to the 2 of you.
Revis greets him and goes, "A lovely looking club. Never seen its like in the Caribbean. How interesting.
Oh, well, yes, I would imagine the Caribbean would have a different sort of flair to it.
It does, but this more than competes. Very well done.
Oh, well, I thank you. I appreciate it. I was unaware that you knew DJ Hip Hopopotamus.
Yeah, yeah. It's a complicated thing that's going on. She's been out for a bit, kind of changing what's going on. Well,
Oh, I know.
yeah,
I read her website. I do apologize for not recognizing you at first.
It's okay. I've been, doing me time.
but hey, yeah. So we're just moving throughout the nightlife here, seeing if anything was new here at the web, or if anything was going on in your neck of the woods.
In our neck of the woods. Well, I can say there was an accomplishment. We brought in Painwise recently, and he laid down some tracks, as he would say, for some custom guitar elements we're going to be adding to some of our music. So that was new.
Oh well. All right then. Very cool. Very cool. On your radar for your types, anything going on in that area that we should be aware of?
So he kind of looks around and he says, there's a group of about 5 women I'm going to be speaking to soon. Is that what you're referring to?
Not exactly. So the one when we're talking to, is this Noah, or is this
This is Noah, yes.
it's Noah? Okay. So he goes, no, like, and he looks around to like the people around. Those we can't like talk about out loud around others. Like, there's us, and then there's you.
Yes, yes. This is public. Perhaps you would like to follow me back to my office.
Excellent. Lead the way.
And so he motions to the guards to let him by, and that you were okay to be with him for the time being.
Yeah, still have that death grip.
Revis just tags along looking.
So he brings you back into the office. It's not terribly big, but it's just big enough to fit all 4 of you in there. And he motions for you all to have a seat. There's a small little love seat in here that can fit 2. There's a generic office chair, and then there's the plush I'm the owner office chair. It's probably got some extra bells and whistles to it for no particular reason, just because sort of thing. Right. You can actually see speakers built into it too. They're not currently in use, but they're there.
Yeah.
Luxury seating. And he says, it's funny that you should bring that up. I was actually going to reach out to you or Sophie, but time has gotten away from me. Are you familiar with our friends at the Autumn Healthcare Systems?
Yeah, I mean, you call them friends. You talking about like Riskel Shade, those types of dudes?
Correct, yes. And I realize I'm using the term friend facetiously. But yes, those individuals. That company has gone belly up.
Oh, wow.
That is both.
Why?
Well, it had something to do with expiring health care for Mr. Shade.
Huh. Hey.
But in doing so, it would seem that there are tertiary issues that have come up. Obviously, their equipment is being auctioned off in a sort of fire sale, bankruptcy sale sort of way as companies are coming in to purchase office equipment and things of that nature. This is a common practice whenever a company goes bankrupt and they're attempting to liquidate all their assets. However, there are some assets we don't exactly want liquidated hitting the market, and I think you can kind of understand why.
What exactly is hitting the market? Things that should be impossible, or what exactly?
Well, let's just say when these sorts of sales happen, they can be used sometimes to launder items on the
Right.
cheap. We're afraid, and we're currently looking into it, but we're afraid that some of their R&D is about to go judiciously missing. And if you recall, some of that R&D did wonders for your kind and mine in all the wrong ways.
Okay, yeah, so we're probably talking about some of those weird drugs or whatever
Correct.
that do things. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Okay.
And we have reason to believe, and I don't know if you follow me when I say this, but there are particular items that could be bane ridden.
Oh boy. Okay.
We're doing what we can to suss out the details, but it is obviously very difficult. They have an unusually high amount of security around the building, which would indicate to me that there's other forces at work attempting to lay hands on the items that we're referring to. And to top that off, to no one's surprise, we are all on the shit end of the stick with the Sept of the Crescent Lake once again.
Remind me, those are the folks of yours
Those are
down south
those
of
are the
here?
country cousins, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what are they mad at? Because of stuff possibly getting out there
I
from
don't know in particular. They, as I indicated before, they are more fundamentalist in their beliefs, and
Right.
if we were to be strictly fundamentalist, I would be sticking a blade in all of you right now. So I would
which
imagine the
you don't
fact
do.
that you are all here still currently plays some sort of role in all of that. They're none too happy because we aren't being as fundamentalist as they should be. To some degree, I understand, and we bear some responsibility for autumn healthcare systems that current plight. But be that as it may.
All right. Should we be worried that they're going to come to town and cause some problems anytime soon, or what?
Well, Mr. Zielinski, I don't know if you've met Billy, but your Baron knows all about him. He has been kind of our go-to between the two, and this, of course, has caused no end of consternation between the two camps as well. Mr. Zielinski seems to prefer it with us, and they don't like that.
Okay.
But he has informed us that for the time being, they intend to not violate the treaty. I would imagine it has something to do with the fact that the sacred grounds that one of your own burned last year.
Rich just kind of looks over.
Yeah, there's some mystery there.
Yeah, he says it may have something to do with their desire to be the sole owners of that particular cairn and not be shared with the sorcerers of this area as well. I believe most of this is stemming from Jericho Baneslayer, their leader.
Okay.
He's particularly hot-headed about these types of things.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, if that balance tips towards the fighting side, and we need to know, of course, let me know as soon as possible, and the Baron, of course. But good to know they're not in full-on warpath mode yet. It sounds like we need to deal with that autumn health problem to prevent that from happening, though.
I'm sure that would I'm sure that would assist. Yes, anything that we can do to slide things in Wisdom of Gaia's favor would be beneficial. She's the den mother of their area, elderly, but they still look to her for wisdom, hence her name.
So, what's at Autumn House? Is it data that we're concerned about?
There's probably a little bit of everything. We don't rightly know. Baines could inhabit office chairs for all we know, but
Well, I asked.
there's your typical run of the mill office supplies: computers, desks, chairs, lighting fixtures, servers of the sort. But we do believe there were some research and development projects left there, and that is probably where we should focus our attention.
So we don't really want a fire inside, is what you're telling me.
No. A fire may not actually cure the issue.
Ah, is the research alive? Is that also an issue?
To the best of my knowledge, I do not believe there is anything living. It is all isotopes, liquid and chemicals, and things of that nature, or perhaps hard data on reams of paper.
If something's discovered that is alive that pertains to it, do you want it? Do we dispose of it?
I can't exactly make that call.
Okay, so
I would say if you were to do this, you may wish to bring us along, or at least somebody inclined to sense what we can sense.
okay, because I could probably get in.
Oh yeah.
I can get down to 6 inches in size.
Right. 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 Yeah. Okay. So we've got that going. All right.
Do
Huh.
they have like a garage, a compound? Is it just a square building?
It's an office building.
It's an office building.
So I would imagine there's a parking structure underneath, as well as the 2 stories that used to occupy this medical plaza.
This might actually be something that Ryan could help with as well.
Maybe.
Who is Ryan?
Mutter, 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 mutter.
It's all right. It's all right, Brevis. I hear you. No, yeah. Ryan's a newbie here in town. He's one of us.
Go ahead and continue. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking at my door.
Oh, okay. Then he turns back, and yeah. Before we get any further, so a little bit of history for those who might not know. Yeah, Autumn Health Systems. There were this weird medical company in town before, and run by like a think of them as like you got your werewolves, right? And then you got like your it's kind of like us in the Sabbat. It's like the Sabbat for them. I don't know what they're called, but
So-
yeah,
Bad werewolves.
So
pretty much.
why? I would think that building would have suffered a catastrophic. Oh, cool! A catastrophic structural incident long before this.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they said, they've got like guards, and it's not like you just go into a place that has even one werewolf and not expect a fight to the death. So
Oh,
that's
no.
why it's just been off limits for a while. And we've had other things to deal with, as you could imagine, the past few months.
Oh, come on. I'm sure there was a way we could have had one evil party take out the other evil party before we had to deal with them. It's called balance.
Didn't we deal with one of the bad werewolves?
We did. He was destroyed. Max Hate.
Right.
But,
That was kind of when you and I first met.
yeah. But it's like cockroaches. There's never just one.
I think that was the first time we got blown up together too.
Was it? There's been so many times that they all blend together now.
How romantic. I
Yeah.
can say that there were projects that came from that particular medical facility. Some of those projects you faced when you dealt with Mr. Maxwell Haight.
Right.
Although there may be others we have unaccounted for. So if you were to go in, you may want to expect hostilities.
Well, I was thinking we could recon it if I can find a way in, and in particular into the ducting.
Can you guys actually like sense us? Like,
You guys, are you referring to my kind?
yes.
Oh, absolutely,
Sorry.
yes.
I don't know much about.
What's the range of
your
the
kind.
sensing ability?
I am not
You're
exactly. Oops, I am not exactly at liberty to say.
Okay. As an example, if I was in one of the heating or air ducts, could I be sensed from someone in the same room?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay. So probably not. I'd probably get picked up at some point.
They. From what I was told by my sire, our two kinds normally do not get along.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So we probably need Flaming Sword Girl.
Good. Or if we had a werewolf on our side, that would tip the scales at least. I mean, we've fought between them before. It's not like it's impossible. It just takes planning and having the right oomph at the right time.
So I'm okay with it. And like I said, I can get into places, but at some point I'm sure I'll be detected since they have abilities that'll pick up whatever our kind registers as to them. But I'm sure I could get in. Might hurt a little bit. I mean, it's possible it's warded, which is going to kind of suck, but.
And he looks to Noah and he's like, Noah, you tell me, do you think there's just like, it's like packed with wolves in that place right now? Or would there only be like maybe one still in the building? Like what's the state of it? Do you know?
We don't have just wolves to potentially worry about. And in fairness, if there were, and we can call them what they are, they're referred to as black spiral dancers. I would imagine we would have seen their presence at some point prior to now. If they are laying low, then they are doing an unusually good job of it, and that's not really their MO. If I am to believe that there are still things there, they are probably corrupted individuals. Unfortunately, these particular spirits do more than just create black spiral dancers.
So,
like the Jason fellow that you encountered not too long ago.
So you mean kind of like mortal servants?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And they have supernatural abilities?
They can, yes. Think of it along the lines of a corruptible chthonic entity that does the bidding to a point of the servants to gain their loyalty, and then until they are corrupted.
So ghouls with bad attitudes.
I don't know if we're referring to ghouls in the same sense, but I will tentatively say yes.
Okay.
So
That
these
could be.
mortals are expendable.
Oh, of course, absolutely. But they would also be handle with care would be another good way to put that. You don't want to just kill them without cleansing.
Huh.
And who's going to do the cleansing?
Well, you could ask my country cousins. They would do a good job of it, but you might find yourselves in the cleansing as opposed to beside the cleansing. But my pack could also assist in that matter.
What would happen to us if we got caught in the cleansing?
I was being polite and saying that you would be scrubbed from the face of the earth.
Yeah, that they would just kill us. They wouldn't care. Like, the only reason why they're not coming up here is because we've got that treaty going on, because we played nice that one time. So, yeah, okay.
What if one was to bite one of these corrupted individuals? Is there a danger involved?
I don't know enough about your physiology to be able to say.
Let's say
Regretfully.
I'm not going to imbibe it, but I'm quite capable of injecting a mortal fatal poison.
I again, I could not say. Some, because of their corruption, are immune to poison. So you
Okay.
may be just making it
No,
happen.
that's what I'm trying to determine.
Others, it may kill them outright. Not all of the corruptions are the same.
Okay.
Looks over at Ben and goes, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right. Hey, looks to Noah. When would you and your pack be ready for a jaunt over to Autumn Health?
Unfortunately, no time soon. We are currently tied up with our own matters. Perhaps next week. I realize
Okay.
that isn't exactly convenient, but if you were to scout out the location, perhaps if you are capable, include video footage or something of that nature, that might help us ascertain the nature of the corruption, what we could be dealing with, rather than attempt to tackle it all right away.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we can at least do that. And we'll be ready for when the time comes. Okay. Well, you two want to scout out Autumn Health? Got anything else better to do?
Revis looks over at Ben and goes, seriously? I always have something better to do, but this is almost as entertaining as all the other things I could be doing.
Well, I guess we could.
Oh,
I know
wait.
where.
You want to DJ tonight? I'd be more than happy to sit and listen.
I'm not DJing tonight.
Okay,
Oh.
I just figure I'd offer.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
funny.
okay. Well, it seems like we've got something to do then. We'll work on that. Appreciate it, Noah. Anything else that's happening that we need to know about? Is it really just the fire sale at Autumn Health?
That's all. That's all I'm aware of at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, if you two are ready, I know I am. We can head on over, make sure we're not obvious, and stake it out, see what's going on.
Oh, that's a bad trace. Don't you stake it out.
Could we swing by the house so I can change? I'm kind of really not dressed for intel. I was kind of dressed for clubbing.
This was an action movie. That is a lie.
Revis looks down and goes, wait. A sports jacket, well trimmed out shirt, and accessories isn't suitable for scouting?
I have heels on.
Most of the gals I date don't find that a problem, but they're okay. Never mind.
I would feel much more comfortable in my my combat boots. You know.
But most of them aren't. Oh well.
Everyone's got their tastes. Yeah, we can swing by. All right. So then I guess we'll all meet at the building area, not too close to it, but say 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate it, Noah. You have a good one.
Revis will look at the location that Ben gives and pick a spot 2 blocks away from that and drive to that 2 block away spot and park his car, obfuscate, get out, walk into an alley. And is this area going to be well lit, Jerome, that I'm in? Or is it?
It's at nighttime, but yes, it is it's an actual office park.
Okay, so I won't. I'm not going to go to half form then. Okay, I'll stay the way I am and just go to the area where I will meet them.
Obviously, it's after hours, and it is off of downtown. But yes, it's an office park, so there,
Okay.
all the parking lot is lit with street lights. There's some ambient lighting, backlit to the buildings that are here. So there's a 2-story building on one side, there's a 2-story building on the other side, and of course everybody can park kind of in the middle. There's a nice potted display of plants in the very middle to kind of offset everything and make it look nice. And there's a little fountain, at the very end of it, spewing up some water. Psh. Goes through a rotation of lights, but otherwise, it doesn't look like there's many people here. There's only a couple cars in the parking lot while you're waiting on Persephone and Benjamin.
Okay, so I'm going to change into her normal attire that she's more comfortable in. She'll also have her trench so she can hide her size, and she's going to have her knives. Her 5 of them have the burning blade on them,
Okay.
as well as her size. And yeah, that'll be it.
Okay.
Are there rain gutters?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, typically what you have to go up to the top floor, but it's the type of building where there's a little bit of a lip to the roof, and then it has like a built-in drain that goes all the way down and empties out at the bottom of the building, like you would see typical of most office buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben will prepare getting his steak and his pistol. He'll keep his shotgun in the car. Then after we get set at back at our place, we drive on over so that we're like maybe 1 block away from the location.
Benjamin, we really need to find out where we can acquire some owls, because tonight would have been a good night to use that ritual.
Yeah, that's right. Do you need an owl or?
It has to be a predatory bird, and I think owls are the only nocturnal.
Yeah. Okay.
And we can't use the one I have gold because I do not want to kill it.
Right. I wonder if there's any just flying around. Do you have any way of like calling them to you or anything?
No, but I was kind of hoping that maybe, I don't know, would awe work on animals?
I've never tried that, but I'm pretty sure that's more just a human thing. You gotta do that.
I mean, I have
stuff, I think.
I've been learning animalism from Damaris. I wonder if I could talk to one, because I have to be able to get it to come to me, and I have to touch it in order to activate. Oh, and Jerome, I almost forgot. She also has her little container that has her spider in it.
Okay.
And she's got, well, she always has. Do you want me to roll? I didn't roll this one before Wood and Doom. Do you want me to roll it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then while you're doing that, Ben, were you calling Ryan or were you just go into the threesome?
He will go ahead and text Ryan and say, "Hey, if you're available, a few of us are scouting a location that might have enemies. You available?"
Okay, so you get a text back. So are we ghost busting again?
Not ghosts. Uh, Wolves and bad science experiments.
Great drum.
Okay, you're good. So he sends a text back and he says, "Oh, yeah, I could help."
It says, "Sweet, meet us here," and he goes ahead and gives like the crossroads of like where we are parking.
So, just for curiosity and see if I could actually do it, are there any owls in the vicinity?
So you are you? Do you have level 2 of animalism?
Oh, no, I have
Because I
level
think level
1.
2 is the beckoning. Level 1 is feral whispers.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I only have 1.
Okay, so you can speak to them if they're around, but I don't believe you can beckon them to you.
So, can I like to try to see if one would hear her?
Sure, I will allow that attempt as you just randomly start hooting in the street, which would completely surprise Ben, because Ben is in the
Henry
middle of a
does.
text, and then all of a sudden, whoo, whoo.
Oh, she's just going for it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Maybe we
what's
should
my
go.
what's
She's
my
all
difficulty?
in.
Don't you need to take that to someplace private? Ben?
Yeah.
But we were having that conversation earlier.
Oh boy. Yeah.
What's my difficulty?
Hold on a second.
Nine or
What do I
10.
roll?
Well, you're not going to roll for anything. Animalism level 1, it just you intuitively know like
Okay.
what they're saying at that point. So it's almost like you wouldn't make a roll really to understand English.
Okay.
Now if somebody was like speaking high English, like very advanced science terms and whatnot, yeah, you might try to understand what's being said, but you would still understand. Okay, well, he said an element or some sort of word there. I just don't know what that means. Kind of the same thing. The only difference with animalism is that most animals they're pretty dumb, and they don't have human intelligence, with the exception of one. So they you can't communicate with them with like advanced commands like go here, do this, blah blah blah. Look for this type of car with this type of color. You gotta remember that they don't even know what a car is.
Right.
Things like that. Like that's completely lost on them. But so long as you do that, then yeah, it's pretty much a straightforward kind of communication thing. I'm looking. Here we go. Fair Whispers. Yeah, level 2 is beckoning. Okay, so but I will give you a manipulation and animal kin roll.
Okay.
Your difficulty is 7.
Ooh, I gotta get me some animal kin. I botched.
Oh wow.
So no successes and a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
The pterodactyl that just hatched
I know.
2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Run!
The pterodactyl experiment comes down and says, "I can fleshcraft, but I want to turn people into dinosaurs. I don't want to cure cancer."
What I'd expect at this point.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys go ahead and talk for a couple of minutes? I got to do something real quick, and I'll come back to you with your disaster roll.
Okay.
1 sec.
Oh my.
Well, this is her first time attempting, so I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have a a spirit sensing Lasombra,
Mhm.
and we're going to go play with wolves. Bad
and bad
experimental results
Yeah.
that are still
well
alive for reasons that escape me.
and Banes, which Ryan would be beneficial because remember he can smell bad spirits.
Yeah, exactly. He might be able to detect him at least.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking, but
You don't like the Lasombra?
nope. And if I could prove what I suspect, neither would you. But that's neither here nor there. That's in the
Yeah,
same category as what I suspect about Trish versus what everyone knows.
what about Trish?
See?
I mean, we have our own, yes, but
I'll go back to the one thing that I continue to observe about her is that I have never seen her use a discipline.
yeah, we kind of talked to her about that a little bit, didn't we, Ben?
Yeah, as far as that goes, it seems like, well, she didn't even want to drink from people for a bit. She
Still
was not
doesn't.
comfortable really being what she is.
And I think a lot of it has to do her being on the run. I think we're actually the first kind of vampires that haven't wanted to kill her or, you know, hit her over the head with a shovel.
And how long was she a childer under her sire?
I think she said what? How many years did she say? Do you
Uh,
remember?
I think she was with her or with him for a few years, maybe 5 or maybe less. But she's
So
been on
she
the
would,
run for decades.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but my point is she knew at one point how she was supposed to behave, and she did it, or her sire wouldn't have let her live.
true. And I I have not seen her really do anything bad. I mean,
Oh, I'm not talking about bad.
she's definitely not like us.
And well, that my how do I explain this adequately? Vampires who go or supposedly are in life and death situations do not hesitate to use whatever they need to survive, even Christian ones. And so I struggle to find a way to justify when I hear someone say, I don't do it because I might have to spend blood and then feed. Seriously? Versus die, which you've been avoiding for decades? Sorry, don't buy it. Just don't buy it.
Yeah.
And she may have excellent reasons. We lost your voice there too. But I'm tempted to say I almost would doubt Clancy's spouses. And that would be my real belief that she isn't what she says she is. And that's why she doesn't use disciplines.
Well, I need to find a certain ritual. Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Um, it's called Blood Walk, and it will allow me to just by tasting her blood. I saw my sire use it before, so I'm kind of going off what I've seen. But he was able to
Tell her
glean
clan. Yes.
well information about the person. So yeah, the clan would be
And that's my only real concern really at this point is that when people don't display what you expect them to, that generally means they don't have it.
I mean, that's why we went to the midnight
Augury.
Yep.
augury because I was hoping. I'm sorry, my son's in the kitchen trying to get his breakfast because he's about to go to work. Yeah, so I was hoping to find that ritual.
Well,
So
like I
it
said,
is it's something that we do need to acquire, but I'm not too sure how to go about it because I don't know of any other really thaumaturgists in this
that's okay.
area.
Right.
You asked why, and I've explained why I view it that way, and it's just what it is. But in any case, we were Has our good friend Ryan of the Sombra showed up?
Okay, so at that point, yeah. So he would get my leg thrown around here. Yeah. So with that, then he would. I'm assuming you gave him the address to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he comes pulling up, eventually on his motorcycle. You notice that you like were hooing out loud, and of course, completely like botched the roll. You can see that a security guard actually comes out and starts like looking around in the distance from the front of a building. Like, what the hell was that? But based on where you're at, he doesn't see you. So he turns back around and goes back inside. He was in the opposite building, the one that actually still has businesses in it, not the Autumn Healthcare Systems.
So, which one of us does anyone have like video that we can use? Because I'm probably going to change form and see if I can't get to the top of the building and enter the ventilation system.
Okay.
And so as Ryan pulls up and you're asking, about how to get in or video and whatnot, he's looking around like wide-eyed. He's like, wow, the stench coming off this place is like amazing.
She's gonna go bingo.
Do you know what the heck was here?
So Ben looks around, makes sure there's like no human beings in earshot, and then he like goes up and goes, "Yeah, so like I mentioned, we're dealing with like a werewolf thing. So there were wolves in here at one
You
time.
mean like legit werewolves? I thought you just meant like wolves, like maybe dog wolf.
Oh no, like
Serious cuts?
like real ones.
Oh
So
crap.
yeah, so just so that you're not all weirded out here, yeah. So south of us, south of Ashland, there's a group of werewolves that we kind of have a treaty with, so they don't just come rushing in. And yeah, but beyond that, there's some werewolves in town which are on our side. If you ever go to the Web, that's a nightclub downtown. There's a couple that are on our side in there.
Thought you told me to
But
stay away from the web.
yeah, because it's
Don't
because
go-
you're new,
Just,
and
just,
they
just
didn't
don't
know.
go without Ben.
Right? Yeah. That way you're
Okay.
introduced if you're
Got it.
But anyway, here at Autumn Health seems like they're going out of business. Things happen to their employees or whatever, and they used to do experiments in there. Ultimately, we want to try to, probably not tonight, but eventually find out what they still have in there and keep it from getting into wrong hands, because they got stuff that can like affect us, that can affect werewolves, that can turn people into weird monster things.
He-
It's all bad news.
He
So
called
corruptible
them-
spirits.
Well, he called
Pretty
them
much.
Banes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got the technical term then. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Okay, so you're sensing quite a bit.
It's an entire hive, for lack of a better term. Like they're still permeating that place.
Do they notice
Revis
us?
kind of looks over at him and goes, "Hive?"
Yeah, they kind of, for lack of a better term, they kind of they congregate together, and that's kind of the term that's used. It's like a beehive kind of.
So I just want to clarify. So if I tried to go in there, say get to the roof and get into the ventilation system, what you're telling me, what I think I'm hearing is there's almost no way to do that undetected.
Yes and no.
Why yes, why no?
What's your humanity, Revis?
Revis just kind of smiles and goes,
I'm out of character.
"Oh, out of character."
Yeah. He wouldn't ask an ST question like that. All of a sudden, just,
Okay.
What's your humanity?
Yeah, if you're talking about conscience and conviction, it's one.
No. Your
Wow.
humanity. The path that you were on.
Oh, my path is 4, but I don't typically think of that as humanity. Not as a typhonist.
Oh, okay, but so you're on a path then.
Yes.
Okay, so then he says, pardon the phrase, you stink enough, you could probably do it. You kind of smell like them.
Not a surprise.
She's going to kind of look at Revis and
Yeah.
He just looks
you
back and
probably
goes,
smell like whatever cologne he might have splashed on or something.
Right.
I mean,
let's see. A
don't know,
Tremere
you
accusing
smell
a
good to
Sedite of
me.
being black. Sure. Good luck with that one. No!
I don't know, you smell good to me.
Davy Jones said, "No."
But yeah, okay. Because if I can get there, I can at least examine. I'd only examine the upper level. Truthfully, I have no desire to hit the main floor in something someone describes as a hive. Yeah, that doesn't sound like an entertaining experience, even for a Sedai. But if I could examine the upper levels and make sure they were clear, that would kind of simplify things when we come back. Because then, we're basically got a little bit of attention to it, but one area is clear. But if there's something on the upper levels too, that means you're looking at 3 floors to sweep. Ouch. That means you're going to be there at least an hour when you go to clear this place.
Well, I mean, that depends on when it comes to clearing. I'm assuming that's going to be what they do. They've got their own special rituals to handle that with spirits or banes or whatever it seems. We just have to find out how many guards they got, where the cameras are, places to get in, and if we can find out where they're keeping this weird stuff, where that is.
Well, I can obfuscate and do the outside easy enough and come back and, put it on a map for you. I'll just turn into a snake and go obfuscated, and I might trigger an emotional arm, but other than that, I don't see any issues. They're going to come by and I'll just be curled up, obfuscated. No, I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here.
Okay. If you can get in and check things out there, we can go around the perimeter, check things out there, take a look at the patterns of the guards. We saw there was one. There's at least one. For a place like this, yeah, you heard that, right?
Yeah, I need to work on that a little bit more.
Well, it attracts male humans, so obviously you're partially successful.
So Ryan
likes
kind
my
of holds his
hooting.
hands up and he says, or holds his hand up and he says, "Wouldn't that be Hooters?"
Not in this case.
What is that? I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea. And I hope he's not talking about mine.
It's never mind. It's point is. I think we can do this with who we've got, Ryan. So you can detect him. If you got a little closer, would you be able to get more information as far as like what exactly is in there as far as bad mojo goes, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can get in and out undetected. I mean, I hate saying it like this, but I'm kind of in the same boat as Revis, and they aren't really going to see me as anything different.
Well, that works for us.
Okay.
He looks over and goes
And
well,
Ben and I can just act like, two
So
lovebirds
if you
rolling
want,
around.
I can go in as backup and maybe explore what he doesn't explore.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you guys could split up and cover more area.
Well, Revis looks at and goes, if you can get into the first floor, I can pretty easily cover the upper level, the second floor.
I can do that.
I don't think either one of us wants to try going below ground at this point.
Nope.
Yeah, didn't think so.
Nope. If this is what I think it is, going below ground isn't going to be a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. As soon as you said the word hive, I'm like, oh, no, not.
Well, Ben, should we take a romantic nightly stroll around?
Sure. Keep our distance at first, see how close we can get without raising any suspicions, and we'll just check out the area first while you two do some infiltrating. If anything goes weird, we can bug out. We're not trying to do the whole shebang here because we're going to need some wolves on our side to do the clearing, especially if there's anything in the lower
Yeah.
levels, like what
They
you're
said
saying.
they want to do some cleansing, and we shouldn't be there for that.
Right. Okay.
So
Sounds
she's
good.
gonna wrap her arm around Ben's waist and
We'll
go for a
meet back
walk.
out here in say 30 minutes, and if anything changes, bug out.
Revis looks at you, goes like, I'm going to be crawling across that. So why don't you make it an hour?
Hour it
Okay.
is. We got the time. Right. So then Ben and Seth start their stroll, taking a look with our special eyes at a distance while the others do their thing.
Okay. So at that point, Revis, do you shift, I guess, down to small snaky form?
Well, first I'm going to walk over by where the car is, and I'm just kind of like going to bend over. I have no idea how far the cameras are reaching, and I have no intention of finding out at this point. So I'm going to go behind something where the building and me aren't visible, and become snaky thing and obfuscate, and head off towards the building.
Okay. And I take it that's from where you're at right now?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I
that's why I
thought.
said
Okay.
give me an hour.
Sure. So as you do, Ryan scoops you up, and he just kind of goes walking up, along, kind of in a blind spot on the building. And when he gets close enough, he just hurls you up.
Oh God, I didn't
Not
think
the
I had a
snakes
twin.
fly.
So for a moment, you're like, hey, like all flopping around like
Yeah.
a snake is kind of prone to do when it's, partially airborne.
Airborne, yeah.
But you don't really take any damage, but you hit the rooftop, a lot faster than it would have been trying to, squirm your
Crawl
way
across.
up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And I go slither over to where the ventilation is.
So
And
I'm going to activate Auspex.
and I'm assuming there isn't an easy way in, so I'm going to go to half form where I have hands and make myself an opening in the ventilation and slide in and on down.
Oh, you could have done that just as a snake.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just like propping yourself up and pushing between the vent
Okay.
itself. Yeah.
No problem then. That's what I do, and enter the system and work my way down. And basically, it's supposed to be deserted. So in this form, I'm +2 to hearing and stuff like that and vibration. I just wander down the upper level viaduct, listening for things and periodically looking through the vents down in there to see if there's anything of consequence. And basically, like I said, just scout out the upper level, then go back.
Sure. So I'll get to you in a second then. Persephone and Ben.
Yeah.
So you are strolling. Persephone, you're using your Auspex, as you said. So go ahead and your aura percepting. So it is your emotionality. And was it
Perception.
Perception and perception and empathy?
Yeah.
Difficulty 8.
And Ben, he's not going to go or percept yet. He's just going to be looking around the perimeter, looking for like the typical security, like checking out how many guards there are that make themselves known, walking around the cameras. If there happens to be like a car that comes in, drives around, that type of thing. So that's what he's looking at, using his heightened senses.
Okay. And Persephone, you got how many successes?
3.
Okay. So as you guys are walking along, and of course, remember, as I said in the description, you got 2 office buildings that basically utilize the same parking lot. You both can see that there are security cameras on both that point at the parking lot as well as the buildings themselves. So between the two, it's actually pretty well covered for cameras. Persephone, you see Ryan doing actually a really good job of keeping to the shadows. And if you didn't have aura perception on, like, you wouldn't have seen him. Like he's but Lasombra, they do well with the shadows, clearly.
Right. Yeah.
But when you see him get to the door, it looks like he's making like he's about ready to pick the lock, and then he just vanishes.
That's interesting. Hopefully he didn't like go to the other side again.
I bet he's got something going on.
I don't know. He just disappeared from sight.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know that exists. I remember now.
So hopefully he didn't. I mean, I don't know. Is their veil thing thin around these kind of things?
Good question. Are you seeing something? I mean, we just saw what that looks like at room 202. Does it look the same? I'm not using that right now.
Does it look the same?
No, actually, you don't see any noticeable change, like outside of what you would normally expect to see from electricity. Because with aura perception, you'd pick that up too, much like a Kirlian camera. So you would just see like
Yeah.
the soft kind of glow of anything that was currently active and electric right now.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look the same. He just disappeared. So I don't know. Okay. Hopefully he's in.
All right then.
And as you are walking along, you do eventually see a security car kind of come up and around and start touring the parking lot, looking, and the spotlight gets shined on you. Like he has one of those police car or the police spotlights on the side and shines it on you for a second.
When he does that, she's going to reach up and grab Ben, neck, pull him down, and kiss him.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. And then you end up hearing, excuse me, this is private property, coming from the car.
And so he says, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that." And he's gonna go ahead and use awe. So
Okay.
he'll spend a blood. Let's see here, that and that. 7.
And through my aura perception, what am I seeing off of him?
Looks like you're run-of-the-mill person, probably a little bored and apprehensive at encountering you guys.
So nothing supernatural on him.
Not as far as you can tell, no.
Okay.
So I got 2 successes. So
Okay.
as long as it's just Seth and him, theoretically, I grab him there. And then Ben goes, "Sorry about that. We were just walking around. Didn't know there's anybody still in the area."
No, it's quite all right, sir. Just this is private property, so I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. So if you can just turn around and go back the way you came, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, no problem. So he goes ahead and complies and walks away. And once they get far enough away and he hears him, like, go ahead and just start driving off. Once he's satisfied, he'll pick out one of his notepads and he'll mark down like what time it is and the fact that there was that one guard who was there at this time.
Okay. Looks like obviously it's not an exact time, but if you had to estimate when the encounter first happened, it happened right at about 10:30.
Cool. Okay, that makes it easy.
Okay, Revis.
Yes.
Crawl, crawl, crawl. Sniff, sniff, sniff with your tongue.
Yep.
Dragon. I don't do that tongue thing. So go ahead and give me a perception and alertness check.
Okay. Let me.
That would make it a difficulty 4 given your senses.
Yeah.
Nice.
Discord. Knew I forgot to open something. There we go. VTM rolls. And why did my character sheet close? Come on. There we go. No. Well, go to manual. Okay. And put my glasses back. This is one of those. Okay. Come on. Alertness and perception.
Yep, difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4, so 5. No, I hit the wrong E. It's M, isn't it, for the multiple one?
It's /MM space, and then it'll
Mhm.
start giving you the opportunity to put the syntax in. So then
Mhm.
it would be 5 is your dice
D10.
pool, and then no,
Mhm.
it's not 5d10. You'll put 5 space and then 4 for the difficulty.
Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. 4. 885. 3
All right.
successes.
Cool. Okay, so you are making your way through the ventilation shaft at this point in the
Mm-hmm.
air vents, and you can hear some conversation. You hear something along the lines of, so do you think we can shoot it? And some other guy's like, nah, probably wouldn't be a good idea, but I'd really like to. I got this 30-06. I've just been dying to pump around into something. He's like, I got a couple cans. We could probably do that, out back. He says, nah, I mean, why don't we hit the monkey? He says, the monkey? Because he can take it. It'll be fun.
Revis is going to carefully approach, I'm assuming it's a vent that's nearby that
Yeah.
I'm hearing this through.
Mm-hmm.
And is it look down, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you're
look
in the
down.
central air and heating.
Mm-hmm. And look down. What does he see?
You see two guys currently playing. One guy currently playing Doom on a computer, and they're just BSing, in a mostly empty office space.
Okay.
Misappropriating company property to play a video game.
Uh-huh. And okay. He listens for a couple minutes to see if he picks up anything else in the conversation.
Sure. And he says, you end up hearing one of the guys say, well, I mean, I've got the keys. Do you want me to let it open and you have some fun that way? And he's like, no, thanks. I said I wanted to shoot it. I didn't want to actually fight with it. You could probably tear me limb from limb. Plus, we don't have any silver or anything for it. And he says, does that really work on those things? And he says, sure hope so. I don't have the doctor's notes.
Okay.
And then you hear, yeah, get some, chainsaw, ha ha. And you hear the sound effects, of somebody taking chainsaw to demons.
Very, very tempting. I'm going to move back about 10 feet.
Okay.
Go to half form so I can use my hands. Take out my phone and send a text. Actually, before I even send a text, I go to my phone and I turn off every alert. Because it just now occurred to me I'm traveling with a phone that has everything turned on. So I turn off everything on my phone and then I send a text to Ben. Live subjects on site. And I close off my phone and then I turn it off completely.
So then when Ben gets that message, he shows that to Seth. Is like, yeah, that's not great, but I guess we kind of expected there was something like that here. Good to have confirmation.
So, FYI, not to interrupt, you're using Form of the Cobra to do what it is you're doing, correct?
Well, there's the one right below Form of the Cobra where you're kind of human looking, but you're not. You can't pass for a human in open light. Is that the one you're talking about? And you still have hands?
Well, no. That's why I'm looking that up.
Okay, yeah. No,
there's
Form of the Cobra was the one where you're all snake. The one right below that, it's like almost like a half form. You have the snake like visage and scales.
That's Skin of the Adder. So that doesn't actually change you into a snake or allow you to shift back and forth like what you're doing.
Okay.
That in essence, basically what it does, the vampire spends 1 blood point and 1 willpower point. His skin becomes scaly and mottled. This combined with the character's increased flexibility reduces soak difficulties down to 5.
Yep.
So it's kind of like it lets you open your mouth wider for like fangs and whatnot, but it doesn't allow you to shift down into a small snake and or use like
Yeah, well, I understand
partial
it wouldn't
form
be
of
a
something.
small steak. So I suppose the question then becomes is how large is the duct?
Let's see.
Because if it's not small enough, then it just waits till I get out. I'm fine with that. It's no big deal.
So hold on a second. So
Mhm.
what? How much do you weigh in your human form?
He's got. This doesn't have any. My physicals are all 2 dots. And
No.
everything.
How much do you weigh as an individual?
Oh, as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think he'd be much more than 150, 160.
Okay. So that means you are a cobra, a black cobra that weighs about 150, 155. You stretch over 10 feet or 3 meters long, and you're about 20 inches around.
Okay, so I can't do it in there. Okay, that's fine. I'll wait to send the text. That's fine.
Yeah. So if you're going to, change, there's no way you could do that in here safely, but you can still travel just fine.
Did we lose his mic?
I think
Or
so.
did- Yep.
Yeah, I don't hear him. Let
Yeah.
me see audio.
Stephen, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
So he's probably gonna have to play with the settings. Something may have gotten bumped. Still can't hear you. Nope.
Maybe unplug and plug your headphones back in.
No.
Well, now
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Yep.
You
it
know.
changed the setting again. Son of a dog. Yep, that's exactly what it did. So what I was about to say is, in that form, could I force that grate open?
Yeah.
They'd be distracted. Do I want to? Damn, I want those keys, but it's a bad move. I'm doing what I accuse other people of doing. Nope. I'll continue the recon. I'll continue the recon. I'll do the smart thing and continue the recon.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
Sure. So you continue down
Hmm.
unmolested through the air vents here in central air and
Mhm.
heating. So Persephone and Ben, what are you doing outside?
Let's see. So now that guard's driving away, we're moving a little further away. Were we able to like do at least like a once around the building, or were we interrupted before we
No,
could
you
see?
you were interrupted before you could actually get that far.
Okay. So he turns to Seth and is like, "Yeah, I mean, he did interrupt us, so we could go back and check things out. I mean, that car isn't going to be there for those things. Only hang out for like less than 10 minutes, and then they drive to like their next site. They don't stay at one site all the time typically.
So we just wait for him to leave.
Yeah, I figure we give it another 5 minutes, then walk back, see if he's still there."
I mean, I could obfuscate, but the problem is the cameras would pick me up.
Well, if you're getting close, sure. How about we'll just take a look at the area. In 5 minutes, we'll head back. If he's still there, then we'll figure something out. But we'll play it by ear here.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll wait. We'll like walk around, still a little far from the place for a few minutes, and after 5 minutes or so, we start walking back to see if that car is still roaming the area.
Okay. Go ahead and give me perception and alertness checks. And Shelly, when you have a moment, you may want to focus on your mic a little bit. You're a little low.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What would the difficulty be if we're using heightened senses?
It would start at difficulty 6. So heightened senses, if you're using eyesight, then drops to 4.
Nice.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have this like wheel thingy on my.
That's probably
when
what
I
it
move,
was. Yeah.
when I move, the wheels move.
All right.
Okay, so alertness and perception.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
5 successes.
so it's 7. Okay, and that's regular difficulty.
If
For
you're
you,
using
for you, it's 6 since you don't have heightened senses up.
Okay. Four.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you give the area a good look down. You don't see that car anywhere, so they may have just been on, that may have been one of their regular scheduled patrols.
Sweet. Okay, that's what he's up in. So then we continue our patrol, going around to finish our full walk around of the building, checking out for standing guards, cameras outside, all that jazz.
Sure. So as you were walking around and kind of keeping your eyes out, of course, the buildings both have cameras all over the place. So getting around the cameras, short of physically disabling them or something, is going to be almost impossible. It is well protected, at least in that front. Walking around, you do see, you do end up seeing 3 security guards at the other building. One of the ones that walked out after the hooting, noise ruckus. And then you end up catching a glance of like 1 or 2 kind of walking the floor on the inside, just looking around like they normally did, because they still have like the casual office lighting on the inside. So when that happens and it's dark outside, because it backlights them, you can actually see in easier, and that's how you see them.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So if I drop my aspects and use heightened senses for my sight, how many cameras am I counting?
You'd have to roll again to do that.
So same roll.
Yeah. Perception
Okay.
and alertness, but this time difficulty 4.
Okay. That needs to be a 7, not a Y.
Yeah, we don't have Y dice.
I know. My fingers think so, though. 6 successes.
Nice. In total, there's probably 20 cameras a piece for each building, which are both in the same same spots.
Is this entire complex? Is it 2 buildings, or is it like? Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's 2 buildings that share the same parking lot.
Got it. Okay.
And the basically there's like a public parking up here in the front, and then both of them, of course, have ramps that go down. So they must have like some private, corporate parking underneath the building too.
Okay. So then, where Ryan had run to, was that area being covered by cameras as well, or did he find like a blind spot or something?
Good question. Why don't you go ahead and roll again, not to spot it, but to try and figure it out. So give me a wits and investigations check as you kind of mentally go back over the trail that he went through.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
Yes.
Three successes.
Okay. It's probably not a blind spot because cameras from the other building likely would have seen it. That's kind of the benefit from these two buildings, is that cameras from one will probably pick up on the other, even though so if you were sneaking up directly across, yeah, there's probably a blind spot, but basically both buildings are covering each other, so it's got a good coverage overall. But you remember, he's La Sombra. Cameras don't like him.
That's good. Okay. All right. So then, after going through that stuff, Ben will look over to Seth and be like, "Yeah, I don't know if you've caught this, but there's cameras everywhere. So yeah, like even if you're obfuscated, that's not going to work. But Ryan, he seems to be our ace at least a little bit because." La Sombra cameras are fuzzy, but they're going to at least see that person's there. Maybe not. So it's not perfect, but yeah.
I don't know if they're spotted on camera, because I know that we couldn't see him in the mirror.
Well, we saw him via the dog camera that time when we first actually ran into him, when Mr. V let us know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they just get blurry, and that was the same thing that happened with Mr. Walken, who nabbed Shannon a bit ago. Yeah, the La Sombras are just blurry, not invisible on cameras. So there's at least that. I wonder how
Thank you.
Revis is doing. I don't want to contact him just in case that makes a noise or anything, but well, how much time has gone by in our hour long?
We'll say you're about halfway through. It's about 30 minutes to go.
Okay. It's well, got 30 minutes. Haven't heard any kerfuffle or gunshots or screams, so we're going good so far.
Well, maybe we should head back out of sight in case the car comes back around.
You might want to speak up again there, Shelley.
Nope. We might want to head back so we're not seen by the patrol car.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll do that. So we continue our walk. So we're heading back to where we were before.
Okay. Revis, so as you are skulking around in the vents again, why don't you give me another perception and alertness check? Difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4. Okay, /MM. 5 space 4. Holy crud, it likes me tonight.
Nice. 4 successes.
All right, cool. So you're going down a little bit further. You can hear some active systems and the fans that keep them cool and whatnot. Further on down along the second floor, as you come up to the security room, and there's a guard that's there, watching the systems, and he seems to be actively trying to look at cameras and trying to find something. Like he may have spotted something at some point, but he's looking around, looking at monitors, and he makes a call on the radio again, and he says, "No, I don't see him anywhere." Then you hear the person come back, "Are you sure you even saw anything, or was that just last night's bad Chinese?" And he says, "Okay, ha ha, funny. I swear I saw something. I saw some movement and came up by the front door, and then it's just not there." And he says, yeah, whatever. And he says, "So anything else going on?" And so he's flipping through cameras and watching it. He's got cameras on the inside of most of the important rooms, it looks like.
Yeah.
And he pulls up another one and he says, "No, the monkey just flipped me off outside of that. So it knows that I was watching." And they're like, "Ha ha." He says, "Hey, I wasn't the one that it flung poo at. And then the other guy's like, and you hear another comment come in. It's like, ooh, chocolatey. And some other guy goes like, shut up. It happened one time, and it wasn't my mouth. Thank you very much. This particular security guy looks a little portly. His skin is a little mottled, and if he wasn't in a security like uniform, you'd almost think this guy should probably be in the hospital. Like his skin color and like some boils and whatnot that he's got on him, just they don't look healthy.
Okay, so a mental note. Inside guy is okay. I stayed there a couple minutes just listening.
Okay.
And make note of the number of monitors. Because I know they typically have like 2 to 4 monitors, and each monitor covers X number of cameras, and the monitor will be divided up into 6 cameras on one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pay attention to that, and from what I can tell, their conversations are pretty standard. There's nothing more than cameras and guards.
As of this point, yeah, but looking at the monitors, you can see that there's one particular bay of monitors, probably in an area that was more secure, and you can still see activity. Like you can see people in lab coats walking around and
that's
doing their thing, and you actually see the monkey that they're talking about. That's not a monkey. That's a full on like ape, like a white ape sort of thing. We're talking very,
close to human,
Planet of the Apes sort of looking.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Actually, I was afraid it was a real human, but that's okay. Yeah, this isn't going to wait as long as they want it to. That's for sure. So I would guess, from what I saw, 2 guys at one set, somewhere else in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Were those guards, or do they look like techs?
They were guards.
Okay, so
yeah, 100%.
In addition to what the outside saw, there's those 2. Then I have at least one functional lab room with, say, loosely 4 other people in it.
4 to 5, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to tell with the lab coats and the fact that the monitor is a little ways away, so you can't quite focus on how many. But 4 to 5 would be a safe bet.
Okay. I've got pretty much everything I need. Actually, I got more than what I expected from this, and I'm going to loosely make sure I cover most of the area and don't hear anything of consequence, and then I'm out.
Okay.
Like, it's time to go. I got more than what we wanted me to get, and it's time to go.
Okay. So you start eventually slithering back, and Revis is a little late to get back, but maybe 10 minutes ish.
Okay.
You end up seeing Ryan when he comes walking up. He comes walking up from the other side of the street.
Okay. Like the different direction than the things were. Okay.
Yeah. Like it's another office. It's smaller, but it's another office park altogether.
Then seeing that, then he kind of moves over to Seth. Is like, maybe he did do that kind of just poof thing like he did before. I didn't expect that would happen here.
Revis looks at Ben and goes, at least 2 more guards on the inside at a separate set of monitors playing video games. You have a security captain in the security room, multiple monitors covering a variety of things, and the inside, which is also well covered,
right.
And a functional lab that's still in use with at least 2 specimens, one of which is a werewolf and one of which is a big white ape.
Okay, so
you couldn't make out anything that would look like a werewolf.
I know, I'm extrapolating though. The guard said it was a wolf.
Sure.
I'm going like it's a wolf.
Okay.
So they do have that stuff. Is that downstairs or is that above ground?
Couldn't tell. I didn't pick up the presence of a lab on the 2nd floor. I didn't do the first, so I can't tell you. When they were talking about shooting the wolf, they mentioned silver. as being the ammo he'd use. So you should tell our friends that the guards here are likely to have access to silver rounds.
Got it.
So Ryan says top floor is mostly clear, probably to give the illusion that this place is empty. A lot of empty desks, no computer bays or anything of that nature. Very minimal office supplies or cabinets. And then you see like what like a hollowed out gourd looks like, right? So and he has one. It's only like about like yay big. It's not terribly big, but as he's talking, you see it start to shake temporarily, and he smacks it. And then he says, "I did manage to find the door to the lower levels. This is like a bank vault door, and it looks like they have some sort of fairly high tech code device. I would say maybe biometrics as well. I don't know. I'm not really good with that sort of thing. And it was guarded, but it was guarded in a way that the cameras that are on the floor don't watch the doors. So they clearly don't want anyone coming in or being seen coming in or out. There's also a plexiglass sealant door in front of it. So whatever goes on down below, they can clearly seal it airtight.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for surviving if they push the button.
Right. Well, that means whenever we come in here, whenever that's going to be, we've got to go to that security desk. At least one of those guys, whoever's the highest ranking, is going to have the key, or it's just dealt with at the desk itself, depending on how secure they want to make it.
One of the two dummies who was playing video games had a set of keys.
Okay.
I could, give you a rough description of them. My eyes aren't quite the same, but, the features will be roughly approximate. And, if someone wants to watch and try and pick them up from that, that's up to you guys. But if they got a plexiglass sealed environment in there, what they're playing with behind those doors is not anything I'm comfortable with. That's like telling me you're taking me to the lab of our friend that migrated south to Tucson for a while. Yeah, I want to go into a lab that's, no.
Right. I mean, I kind of figured there'd be something nasty in there, but if guards are able to go down there and they're not getting torn to pieces, I mean, clearly they're going to have that stuff behind lock and key. And
I'm not worrying about that.
Everything.
I'm worrying if someone decides they want to cleanse that place while we're still in there.
Yeah,
This looks like the type of arrangement where you go like, they're about to break into the lab. Oh, it's a pity about those techs. I'll miss George, but boop.
Yeah, Shelley, you're low again.
Well,
oh my goodness! Usually I'm the loud one.
That'll probably mean that that security desk is top priority, and if there's only a few guards running the actual first floor, that should be relatively easy. It seemed like I was able to kind of coax the guard outside that was in the car. It seems like that's every half hour or hour, so that's going to be pretty easy to get around. As long as we don't arrive on the 30 or the top of the hour, we should be all right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we could breach the top side. I don't know. I'm willing to bet, going by what our good friend said about that door, that the people in the security room don't have access to that door. If the cameras aren't covering it, we probably need to find someone with an access pass or something. People have to be leaving that building at some point.
I was going to say, so we wait until we start seeing them switch shifts and grab one of them?
Yeah, I'd buck pass this back to our friend. It's their problem. We've come away with more than they thought we would, and say this is what we're able to to pop up on. And you wanted to know about if there were anything live there. There's at least two. They said they didn't want them offed, which means transporting was probably an enraged werewolf and a Yeti somewhere. Yeah, not in my repertoire. Not in anyone's repertoire that I know of in the city. unless we have animal control under our thumb.
Which we don't, and it's not like they'd be able to handle whatever's in there, obviously. Okay. Hey, Ryan, how did you just like disappeared when we were looking at you, and then you came from that different direction? How did you pull that off?
Oh, shadows.
Oh, you can like what move between the shadows or something?
Become shadows. It's a little somber thing.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
And I came from the other direction because I didn't want to make it look like I was coming from here.
Right.
It's
Okay.
kind of a nifty ability.
One of the only benefits, I guess.
So why don't we relocate from here?
Yeah, sounds good. Where do you want to go?
Well, since we got our info, we could just head back to the web, let them know what we found, and like what Revis is saying, let them figure out whatever they want their plan to be. But yeah, I think he's right that with those living things there, it shouldn't be left to the side for that long. We got to deal with that eventually.
So, Ryan, you want to meet some werewolves?
Yeah, if it's okay, I'd rather not.
Fair enough.
I will hard pass away from that. This is all the spookiness I can deal with for the night. Plus, I need to deal with the gourd.
Yeah, what's with
Yeah,
that?
what is that?
I took since we were there, I took a sample.
You,
So you have like a Bane thing?
Yeah. This is just like a container. Think of it like the like the ghost trap from Ghostbusters, since we're using that whole analogy, kind of like that, but it's only for them.
So
Wow.
what are you going to do with it?
Ask it questions, probably.
Oh, you can talk to it.
Kinda. Keep in mind they're not friendly. They're very mean. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to do like reverse psychology, or if I'm gonna have to punish it, or what. I mean, I don't even know if it has much information. So
Well,
they're also on the stupid side.
keep us abreast on what you find out.
Yeah. No, if I find out anything like special from it before I destroy it, yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of which, with all you can do and all that, and you're new in town. I know we just took you on that quick jaunt to Pantheon the other night, but have you put any thought into joining that team at Pantheon Investigations? You've got the skills and you're in the area, so
You
love to have you.
really want to employ me? Sorry, like I said, I'm used to being on the run. I haven't
Same
been
here,
offered.
but
I haven't been offered a job in what, 30 some odd years, maybe more.
it seems like a few of us that are here now were on the run. So you fit right in.
Cool. Yeah, sure. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, you might also just become part of the team.
Fantastic. All right.
You don't have to
Excellent.
like run like any official paperwork or anything, right? I can do it under the books because I got that thing I told you about.
That's
Did we-
fine. Yeah, we can keep that on the down low. I'll work with that with Jay so that you'll get paid, but under the table.
Did you told him where all the safe places were, like Anzio's and the Flugen.
Right. Yeah. So just so you're aware, places where we can go, Anzio's, that's an Italian restaurant. Damaris controls that area. You can head there and
Okay, I think I've been by that a couple of times, but I haven't stopped
Yeah.
in.
You
yeah,
can ask for their special drinks.
yeah, they're allergen-free menu if you're wanting one of our drinks, and they'll know what that means for you.
Oh, do you mean I could go to a restaurant and? Wow, that's kind of like convenient, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with the other place, the Flugen, whatever it's called.
That's the The Dragonflugel. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Ms. Trudy owns that place, and you got the same deal there. So whenever you find someone, let them know you're looking for an allergen-free drink, and they'll know what that means. Yeah, we've been around here for a bit, and a few of us have actually gotten control of some places that make it easier for us to live.
Huh.
When our
Okay.
when our Baron gets back and we have our meeting, we'll let you know where the location is.
Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, so I guess just let me know. I mean, but yeah, I'll pass on the whole like werewolf thing. Yeah,
It's
that
it's
doesn't sound like
understandable.
fun.
It's a little alarming. Yeah.
It's
All
more
right.
than just a little alarming. You guys can be all cool with them. I'll keep them at a couple arms, just lengths distance.
Just a little okay. I trust Ben, so otherwise I wouldn't be there.
I get your alarm. No problem. I've dealt with that before, as he like kind of rubs his chest a few times. Anyway, all right, excellent, Ryan. Let us know what the Mr. Bain says in your gourd there, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, no problem. I guess you'd say I'm out of my gourd.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
liking it. I'm liking you're gonna fit in.
Jokes aren't my thing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but you got Ben's kind of sense of humor.
So he just tips his hand and hops on his bike and heads on out.
All right, you two. Back to the web to what we found. It looks like.
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting to be seen. I guess Persephone should start looking more of my comfortable attire.
Yeah, I mean, you should feel comfortable, and you can make that personality what you want to make it. People change, sometimes big changes. It's not weird.
I'll just blame it on you.
That's
he
fine.
just looks over at Ben, and Ben's not much in the way of gothic dress, and goes, "You might not want to say that too many times."
He's into goth chicks.
There you go.
Okay. So with that, then we will go ahead and stop for the day, evening. So just to let everybody know, our next game coming up will be Ashland by Night. The main game, which is going on the 15th of September, starts at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Marvel Superheroes next Saturday, which that's the 16th, which will start at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So looking forward to those two games. And then the following week, again, on Wednesday the 20th, we have Cyberpunk at 7 p.m. And then on Thursday the 21st, we have Street Fighter, and that is at 7 p.m. as well. And then this game will come back on the 23rd once again at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Just to keep in mind, since we haven't mentioned it just yet, I am in the process of working on a special 3-shot game where we will dive into Ashland by Night, the Dark West. And that will be taking place when I get everything up and running on the Friday game. So it will be temporarily everybody be using brand new characters with a storyline specifically designed to talk in a prequel sort of way about some of Ashland by Night, and probably jumping back to certain callbacks from earlier seasons of the show. So I'm excited about it. It's all coming together. It's almost done and ready. And there'll be more announcements when that's ready to go. So thank you guys all for tuning in and following us. I hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy.
Evening, all.
Later.
Bye.